This podcast is sponsored by Utocop. For more details, please click on the link that is in the description below. Welcome to episode 28 of On a Personal Note with Adarsh Sakare. On 27, we of course had a very stylish looking man, a musician that has a long way to go, of course. Joel Jacob was a pleasure to talk to. Today, on episode 28, we have yet another story that we're going to cover. A story that covers stories, rather, if I may put it like that. But before I say more, let's say hi to Vikas Badiger.
Hey Adarsh, nice to be here and thank you for inviting. I think it's sometimes good to be on the other side to know what it's like. So,
is it the first time you're on the other side, or
a couple of times?
Okay.
But yeah, this is different. So
okay.
yeah,
I'm glad.
Yeah,
I'm glad. So Vikas is the founder of the popular known page Faces of Bengaluru. The idea on the page is to cover stories that are inspiring, to cover stories that are unique, and to cover stories that can make you think a lot.
yeah,
Right?
yeah.
And Faces of Bengaluru is such a page that has been known for so long. It's almost like this OG page now. People connect with it.
Yeah,
Don't you feel?
Yeah. That's been there
Right?
for quite some time. Yes.
And there is this emotional connect to that page.
Yeah.
That's how I see it in the comments, everything.
100%.
They have a connection to that brand.
Yeah.
Right? So shout out to Gautam for making this happen. And when me and Gautam spoke and he mentioned we can cover this, I was excited. So for a man who already covers stories, the first thing I told Vikas is that's what I'm interested in, and we are just doing it in different ways.
Different mediums.
Yeah, in different mediums rather.
Yes.
So I was definitely excited to do this. So what you'll find out on this episode is a lot about where Faces of Bengaluru started, one, and where it's going. Second, why is Vikas doing this, right? Like if there's so much efforts going into making all this happen, clicking those amazing pictures, writing all those stories in detail, why is he doing this? So that's pretty much around what we'll be talking. So welcome to episode 28. So Vikas, how are things? What's going on?
Good, decent, but pretty weird in terms of because right now it's a full-time gig, right? Till a couple of years ago, it was a
What were you
part-time.
doing?
So I was a campus recruiter
For
at an organization which I don't
you don't want to talk about. It's like
so,
that.
yeah, it's like that. Yeah,
You'd rather forget.
Yeah. So a couple of organizations.
Okay.
Pretty good ones. MNCs.
But corporate. Proper corporate.
Yeah, proper corporate.
So you got out of college, went into corporate, did that for how many years?
Got out of college, got out of Sheshadipuram. Shout out to Shadies.
Shout out.
Shadies. So yeah, and then went to Italy, did my masters.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah.
Why Italy?
Travel.
Okay.
And I think
Expensive travel though.
no, not really. I mean,
Yeah?
MBA is cheap. Yeah.
In Italy?
Yeah, MBA is
Okay.
cheap. And I think the most important thing was to meet and know different cultures. I got to talk to probably people from 20 odd countries, Azerbaijan,
Sweet.
Chile, you name it. And yeah, so it was fun. And I think the idea of FOB also kind of started there. I knew I wanted to do something related to photography and storytelling. I think merge both of them somewhere. I kind of was walking on the streets of Florence, and I met a musician there. And though I knew a little bit of Italian, I kind of spoke to him, and he told that he owned part of a land there previously, but again, private builders took over, and though he got some money, it was when he drunk it away, and then he was a street musician basically. So he was playing an instrument and just getting some money. I think that's where it kind of ignited. That's when I realized, okay, this is something that I think I want to do. Not sure where. I was still studying. And luckily, I wasn't allowed to intern there in Italy due to my visa restrictions. And that's when I came back to Bangalore and started interning, but also realized, okay, let me start this here in Bangalore. I mean, there is no page like that. I mean, there was Humans of Bangalore back then.
Yeah.
But I think the page had stopped.
Is it alive today?
I don't think so. I don't think so.
What's the difference between Humans of Bangalore and Faces of Bengaluru?
I think, I mean, though we're in the similar lines of storytelling, I think that was more of a side project. I wouldn't want to mention who it is, but yeah, I'd actually asked them if I can run it, because I was still doing photography. I was still learning photography back then while I was in my college in Srisaipuram, but I didn't get a response. But then, yeah, I mean, I didn't want to start another Humans of Bangalore, and that's when I realized, I think faces are what makes a city. So, and yes, humans are one part of the city, but also places, but also people, but also animals, everything. So I think that's where I realized Faces of Bengaluru was the name that I wanted to give. Yeah, so I think that's how. Yeah.
Sweet. Let's, I don't want to quickly jump into Faces of Bengaluru directly in terms of that.
Sure.
I just want to rewind a little in terms of Vikas first.
Sure.
So, what is this whole, like, the way I see it, right, for a guy to run something like this, ideally, maybe a very emotional guy.
Yep.
Right? I mean, not an emotional, okay, let me put this better. A guy who understands emotions.
Yeah.
Okay, if you don't understand emotions, you can't run a page like you are doing. Right? So, there is a large part of your personality that comes into running something like this.
Yeah, I'd say that. Yeah, please.
So, what part of your personality makes you want to do something like this? What is it? Why Faces of Bengaluru? Or why cover stories? Okay. Right? Like, personally.
Okay. So, I think more than it being an EQ, emotional quotient aspect, I think it's more of the inquisitive aspect. I think, let's take the first story. I don't want to, it'll be a back and forth. So, the first story that we ran on FOB was Vidyarthi Bhavan.
Oh, okay.
The owners of Vidyarthi Bhavan.
Nice, sweet.
We all know Vidyarthi
We all know, yeah.
It's iconic.
Amazing.
But yeah, I mean, amazing dosas, and it's a place that you would want to take your non-Bangalorean friends to, even Bangalorean friends to. So yeah, that's
after a long night of drinking.
100%, 100%. And it's like a chill out place, right? But also, I think what I wanted to do was talk to the owners and know what their life story is, because maybe the first generation owner would have gotten it or would have owned it or something like that, but the second generation owner, like how it is with nepotism, you would want your son to come and run it, but he would have his dreams, right?
Of course.
And he would have said no to his dreams and still continued running the place. So all these things, right? All these questions, which not a lot of people are worried about or do not think about. I think those are the questions I wanted answers to with the stories. I think that's the reason.
Dig deeper into whys and the hows.
Yeah. Why we do what we do is the idea.
And one of the things that's happening to me now as I do this podcast is every story is definitely helping me as well, right? I never thought of it as a byproduct actually. I thought my job is to cover the story, not realizing when I sit here and I listen, it's gonna add to my experience and I'm gonna change in the ways I think and do things as well, right? So I think one thing that actually I'll reserve what has happened to me, and I'll go second. I want you to go first. Tell me that one or two changes that have happened to you as a person, or even professionally,
Okay.
after listening to so many stories.
Okay. I think, though I was in the mid 20s when I started it out, early 20s, but yeah, mid 20s guys are, how would I say, in a different world altogether, to be honest. So,
Okay.
I think,
How old are you today?
I'm 29 now.
29,
So
okay.
it's, yeah. So, I think empathy was one thing I learned. Proper rowdy before that. I'm not even kidding. Of course, shady isn't.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, so proper rowdy, and in terms of talking to people.
So were you that guy who'd beat up a guy if he was looking at your girl?
No, I mean not that way. I mean I've seen my friends do that, but the thing is, have that. Okay, you're not entering into my space.
Nam area.
I mean, nam area in the sense that your walls that you have in terms of personality, right?
Got it,
I think
got it.
that aspect of it. So I was that kind of a guy, but
What happened?
that's what I think. The stories and the people I met, I think empathy was something that I realized I lacked, and
Oh, you lacked.
yeah,
Okay.
lacked, and I think that helped me become a better person, and every aspect for that matter, and understand biases, understand
Societal
nuance.
biases.
Yeah, societal, personal biases, and nuances in terms of what people in power do and what people in power can't do. And so all these things, right, which are, though you use it in a political aspect, but it's you doing it every day. Everyone does it. So, and having the consciousness to not do it when it's wrong is important. That's something that I realized.
So that was the personal change or the
that
personal
happened, yes.
journey that happened.
Yep.
But back in school, what was it like? Were you this guy who was very extroverted, out there, college fests, or were you to yourself? Because the thing is, right, like to do what you're doing requires a person to be very social.
Yeah.
Right? We need to be able to strike conversations,
Yeah.
make people comfortable.
Yeah.
Were you always that guy?
No. So during my school, I was a proper professional cricketer, aiming to
Oh,
play.
cricketer.
Yeah, aiming to play.
And a quiz master.
Yeah. So.
So Gautam's, there's a slight backstory.
Yeah.
The first thing Gautam said was Gautam and Vikas were quiz rivals.
Yeah.
And Vikas is telling me that he's beaten him a lot. I will confirm that very soon.
For sure.
Give you all an update about that. Anyway, so the quiz was also a big part of your...
part of it. So
quiz, cricket.
Cricket, yeah.
Okay.
I think cricket during school
Okay.
was pretty much it, and most of my school knew me through cricket, and I was just there and not doing a lot of other things. I think PU is when cricket started going down, because second PU, right?
Second PU.
You kind of
What, you science? You took
commerce, but still
Lucky
it's
guy.
still the same.
It's still this. It's not the same.
It's not the same.
Come
It's
on,
not the same.
You're
The
going to get a
present.
lot of hate for saying it's the same, because I've done PCMB.
Oh, okay.
My commerce friends finished at 1 p.m.
Yeah.
My lab used to finish at 4
4
p.m.
p.m. Yeah. that would differ.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd say that.
Yeah.
I think you get the
Yeah,
dibs
yeah.
on it. So, but in terms of a parental pressure, right? I think it wasn't any less, at least for me, because
Okay.
I was out the whole day, half of the day.
Because the cricket.
Yeah, cricket and
And then what, you dropped it completely?
yeah. I'm sure it's. Most of my friends know. So I flunked second PU.
Okay.
So then I realized, okay, I need
That must
to
have been
take
fucked up.
Yeah, it was fine with parents. It was fine.
Okay.
But
That's surprising.
But surprising, because I hadn't done that. Though I was okay-ish in terms of studies, I knew what I wanted to do. So, but then when that happened, so obviously they were worried. But yeah, I took a year. That's when I took a year and understood. Okay, these are the things I wanted to do in life.
You stayed home.
Yeah, I stayed home.
Oh shit.
I still played
that's-
cricket.
Okay.
I stayed home.
But that's tough.
Yeah, that's tough, and
Yeah.
that also
Mm.
helps you realize that
Mm.
you need breaks in life.
Mm.
Uh, uh, I would start my school by
Mm.
10, 9:30, 10, and I
Mm.
would come home only by 8 with after finishing cricket. So
Mm.
that's how my life was during school. But then PU2, so that's when I realized, okay, break is needed.
I was always very scared
Yeah.
of failing.
Yeah,
It is.
I
It is terrifying.
Yeah,
It is
true.
so terrifying
Yeah.
that first PU, first unit test,
Yeah.
I flunked math.
Damn.
You won't believe this. And I'm a good student, by the
Okay.
way, right? So I'm always in the 70 above 75.
Okay.
Decent student
Yeah.
who fares through.
Yeah.
First time in my life, first unit test of first PU, I flunked.
Damn.
14 out of 50 or something.
Okay.
Bro, I went crying to my mother.
Okay.
I thought I'm done. Like, life's over.
Yeah.
Meaning that's where I've kept my expectation for myself.
Oh, yeah,
so I
that's
can't even
true.
imagine what it feels like to flunk second
flunk,
PU.
yeah, I know.
Right? Because
Yeah.
as you grow up in school,
Yeah.
teachers like show that kid,
Yeah.
you know, in front of everyone and say, that's the guy you don't want to be like.
Exactly.
And everyone's scared, bro.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
oh shit.
They
That's
would,
embarrassing.
Yeah, and they wouldn't go talk to anyone.
Yeah.
Like, at least when that happens, right? So
Yeah.
yeah, it was decent.
So you were not scared?
No, I wasn't.
Okay.
And I think I remember this one incident with my dad. My dad and mom didn't want to tell it, of course, to their friends and family.
Yeah.
They would definitely get the questions.
Hide
right?
that shit.
Yeah, hide that shit. And I was like, go and tell. I have no issue. If you have an issue, then I can't help it. But go and tell. That's fine. And yeah, so. But I think that year changed a lot in terms of
Opened up a lot of
Yeah.
thoughts.
yeah, thoughts and prioritizing what's important, right? So I realized, okay, cricket is going to be a part of, but
My life.
it can't be a profession, which I
Maybe not
already
for you.
understood. Yeah, maybe not for me, but that's whatever cricket has given has given. That's not going to
Okay.
go away,
Yeah.
and it's still going to be with you no matter where you go. So.
So you stayed home 1 year.
Yeah,
And then,
joined the same college where I flunked. So
Okay. Was that like,
it was difficult.
was that welcoming?
No, of course, friends were like seniors now. So
Yeah.
it was fun, and I think that way, though, for a couple of weeks they had that okay, senior Nanu and this one, but
Then
I
it
think
became-
it was fine because.
And then you passed.
That's when the quizzing and everything started.
Ooh,
So
nice.
quizzing, and then Shishadipuram is always known for fights, but not fests. So
That's a quote. That's a quote by Vikas Badiger.
so yeah, so we after I think while we were there, I think after 27 years we got the management fests back.
Sweet.
And Shishadipuram quizzing team was in MCC, not MCC. MCC was a bit difficult, but Christ, Allianz University, Jain, wherever you go, we were winning. Known and winning, and they knew that, okay, Shishadipuram team is coming. Yeah.
So when you walk into the hall, there's like this
the
tension.
finals.
Tension in the air.
It was because of my partner as well. He was
Okay.
pretty amazing, I would say. I would be the one who would get, one out of the hat kind of a guy. So, but yeah, that was fun.
Nice. So
And
that was pretty much how school and college
went. Yeah,
went for you.
Yeah.
I think that gives all of you a good context of where Vikas is from, and maybe just a few highlights of what happened in his life.
Yeah.
I'm sure there's a lot more. Now, slightly accelerating into
Sure.
faces of Bengaluru.
Sure.
So the page started on Facebook.
Yeah, it started on Facebook, 2016 November, if I'm not wrong. Yeah, that's where
The
it
page started on Facebook. And how long was it only on Facebook before it?
2 years, I think 2 years, most of it. 1.5, 2 years. It
So
was
you'd
on-
take a picture of the person and you'd write about it.
Yeah,
That
we'd
is
write
the
about it.
process.
Yeah, and so what we initially we started off writing the whole bit, of whatever they spoke. Then we realized we can't any which way cover the whole thing.
Okay.
I would ask different questions as to probably one.
So you just go sit with them,
Yeah,
right?
sit with them randomly.
Sit with them, and what, you'd record them?
Yeah,
Or
audio record them.
Audio record them,
record
ask
them.
them questions, and then come and make the
Yeah,
article.
transcribe
Okay.
it. Yeah. So it's a mix. I randomly meet other people as well, or else I set up interviews, talk to them, and set up time, everything. So it's a hybrid thing. It's not only one side of this one. So yeah.
What was that? Was there an immediate recognition?
Not really. I think it was more of resistance maybe, because I was in a very different segment of photography before that. I was doing cricket photography, travel, wildlife, and all these things, and also a bit of wedding. So getting into, it's not photojournalism per se, but it is under documentary photography, which not a lot of people were aware of. At least
it's a niche.
Yeah, it's a very niche space in that sense. So I think there was a lot of resistance to at least see what's happening, though they knew Humans of New York, Humans of Bombay, but those were different segments altogether, right? They were already established once. For a small page to start off, there would be resistance. So it was, there were amazing responses. My parents didn't know what I do. So they still, now they're realizing after coming to the screening, but till then they would ask, "Yen martya page jote?" So a lot of my friends still don't know what I exactly do with it. So it's weird, but that's the kind of space you are in. If you're
choosing niche, a niche like this.
Yeah. So that's.
So you moved from Facebook to Instagram. When?
I think 2017 and 2018 starting is when we moved.
I feel like your Instagram has got better acceptance.
Better acceptance because Instagram was also growing then. When we started out. Instagram also started opening up to stories, reshares, all these things, right? Which were really innovative aspects to creators. I think that's when we also came in. Yeah.
Went on.
Yeah. And also, I think I was also at a good space and at a good experience to write and to articulate a story, because I didn't know shit in writing, to be honest.
Are you a better speaker or a better writer?
I'm a better photographer, to be honest. I'm neither.
Okay.
I'm neither. So I would rather take pictures and tell a story than talk about it or write about it. But yeah, I think writing was important. Though I've had a couple of friends be part of it. Initially, when I started out, I had a school friend, who was part of it.
Okay.
But then she had to leave. She had to go abroad, so she had to leave. And yeah, since then I've had interns. I've had interns.
So so where did that shift happen? Right now, the way I see it, all I know is Faces of Bengaluru, owned by Vikas. There's a page that covers stories.
Yeah.
So now, are you a registered company? What is it like?
So it's FOB Media. It's going to be FOB Media. But yeah, I think what we are looking at is to do the same thing we set out to do, but in different mediums. That's it.
I get it, but is there money?
So
is there already money? Is there plans to make money into this?
So it's a bit of both, to be honest. I think when you start off with something like this, there is no blueprint, right? If you have Amazon, Flipkart is easy. If you have Uber, Ola is easy.
Yeah.
But I can't take how would I say pricing model or money making model of Humans of New York or Humans of Bombay to
I feel like art is just like that.
It's not only art, but also it's about the city, right? New York is much more open to talking to new people, random people, and that's been there for a very long time. It's a much more first world city in that sense, though Bangalore is as well. But if I go to, let's say, someone in Rajajinagar and an old couple and ask them, could you talk to me? They would rather not. More so with a guy who has a beard. So yeah. So
crazy what all plays in the head. Right?
Yeah, that's and I'm sure that comes with their own insecurities and biases and fears, right? So I can't change that.
Yeah.
Same goes with Bombay. Bombay is very, in that sense, how would I say, aggressive in terms of romanticizing their city.
Got it.
Which is good. But yeah, but Bangalore isn't that way. Bangalore has always been a very individualistic city in that sense. Though there are amazing crowds all over, you grow and you let your friend go. You don't go and support him if you don't feel it's right. If you feel it's wrong, you will never go no matter what. And that's how the city has been for a very long time in that sense, right? So
if I had to ask you, right, like I don't mean to like put you on the spotlight,
sure.
But I just want to know, like, what's your immediate answer to this? How would you define the city of Bangalore?
So the city of Bangalore, I think, like I said, has been an independent, individualistic, basically like a nuclear family, not a joint family, will never be, that's for sure. Because you come here, everyone, including people coming here and people living here, born, brought up here, I think all of them have that sense of individuality to them, no matter where they come from. But it's Bangalore, it's always going to be that way. And more so welcoming in that sense, because you're not welcomed at a lot of places, I mean, in that sense, right? So
that's how you look at
I think Bangalore has been how would I say, open to new things,
open to growth,
open to new things. From the times of Vijay Mallya, I'll be very honest, it starts from there. Okay. So, being the rock capital, being the beer capital, then the tech capital, and traffic capital. So yeah, I think it's been
lead.
Yeah.
So just stepping back, right? Sure. So we were talking about how to make this a business.
Sure. Yeah.
Right. So what's the plan there? Like, you're saying this is your full-time gig.
Yeah. So I think till 2018ish, 2019ish, even I wasn't. I was still looking at how to make it how
to
monetize something like this, right? But with stories only, it's very tough, to be honest.
It's tough, yeah.
And you can't directly take the money from the person you're interviewing, and that is conflict of interest, which I never do. And it's a third-party basis always.
Yeah.
I've done a few gigs. Teach for India, though that was a collaboration. Teach for India and Akshay Patra Foundation and the Hub Bengaluru.
These are paid gigs.
So we've done a few paid gigs in that sense. So basically, like, you want me to interview someone, you pay me.
Okay.
That's how it works. The triangle, that's how it works.
Got it.
Yeah.
There's a third party paying to get these two in.
These two stories out.
But you're saying that's not enough.
That's not enough. That's not enough. I mean, the kind of things that goes on behind the scenes, having interns, still supporting your family, supporting yourself, and all these things, pretty important. So So that's why till 2019 I knew I couldn't sustain it unless and until I understood what other things I can do. I think 2020 is when I quit.
Okay.
When I
So
quit
what are
my-
these other things that are now giving you that confidence? That
documentaries, I
Okay.
think.
how does that work?
Bringing in brands
Mm.
for documentaries. So
Okay.
our first documentary, I bootstrapped it myself,
Okay,
completely
super.
my own money.
Lovely.
And the second docu, we had Canon send over their camera.
Oh.
Yeah, and this place called Karma Kapi. Have you heard of it?
No.
It's in
No.
Jayanagar.
Okay. Nice.
And a couple of clothing brands supported us for our sports documentary. They
Okay.
sent in some money, so that's how.
You start collaborating.
Yeah, I start
So
collaborating.
basically sponsorships, right?
Yeah,
So
sponsorships
sponsorships is the way forward.
is the way forward, and also next would be releasing it at different platforms.
Okay, sweet.
Looking at starting with small MX Player or Movie Saints, releasing our films there and getting some money out
Out of
from-
that.
out of that.
Yeah. I think
And-
you'll have to reach out to some distributors
Yeah,
for
some
that.
distributors and all these things, right?
Mm.
And I realized this is a way to make money, but also more so, I think documentaries in India largely haven't been captured.
Okay. Yeah.
If you see,
On a top quality,
yeah, on a top
we are
quality-
lacking documentaries.
Documentaries.
There's so many stories yet to be tapped
Yeah.
in the highest quality.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
One off would come out on Netflix, like the one crime
Yeah.
stories.
Yeah.
I think that's the only
That's
one.
like 5% of the entire market.
Yeah. So I think that's where I think we are looking to go into
Go into full time.
Yeah, full time making documentaries, but also films which actually make sense, which is what we are trying to do. So yeah, that's where we are at.
So, with the team that you're working with
Yeah.
right now,
Yeah.
like what are they wishing out of all this? Are they close friends? Are they
So
how does it work?
I think it depends, right? I wouldn't.
Like how's the
want-
team right now?
Yeah. So I wouldn't want my close friends working on it, to be honest. Like
Okay.
my close friends are very lazy, fucking lazy. So
They are not gonna be doing this.
so they're not going to be doing this, but yeah. So these are people. I think I'd like to keep that separate.
Okay.
Always believe that never bring your personal bias into your profession, because that's going to spoil a lot of things. So these guys, one of them has been my intern since, like, he started out as an intern back in 2018. He quit, but he did full-time gigs somewhere else. But then now he's back. And people who want to tell stories which not a lot of people want to. Simple as that.
Okay, as simple as that. Yeah.
So I think people who believe in the kind of storytelling FOB does are the people who are involved right now. So that's something that I can say.
Nice.
So I think.
Are you the guy who finalizes on what stories to be considered? Are you the main guy, or is there someone else who tells you, Vikas, why don't you?
No, of course,
look
I
at
get
this?
the suggestion. See, as much as I'd like to be called founder, but I think it also comes down to how impactful the story is. I think that's most important, irrespective of who's taking the call. If there's a time when my colleague tells me that, hey, the story is important, he wouldn't say, can I do it? He would say, I'm going to do it. And that's the kind of people I want in the team, because
In the team.
Yeah, because I understand their consciousness and they understand my consciousness, and they know where I'm coming from. I know where they're coming from.
Has there been a time when you've said, okay, I'm going to cover this person's story and I'm interested, and you call the person and it's set, you're meeting the person, and then you finally meet, and then it doesn't turn out to be as you thought, or say that person is not as welcoming as you would wish.
Okay.
Have there been times like
Many
that?
many of the
How do
times.
you, how have you dealt with
So what?
times like that? Do you drop the story?
No. So what
Okay.
I would do is,
Uh,
I think I would. I think most people aren't welcoming because they don't know you. So you first start
Oof.
talking about yourself.
mm,
That's most important. I
okay.
think you talk about where you come from, what
Mm.
you do, and when you started this, everything, right? When they at least know you to, let's say, 20%, 30%,
Then
that's when they start talking about it. I think that's
Mm.
the main this one. So
But like, I'm sure like not everyone is like, is every person you met a sweet person? Like some will be upfront, like
no way. I mean,
rude,
yeah,
arrogant,
yeah. I've had that, but
acting pricey,
yeah,
all of this.
I've had that. I've had that.
Like, oh, I'm doing you a favor. Like,
Yeah,
it's my story that you're covering.
yeah, exactly.
How do you deal with that?
I think, like I said, empathy
Uh.
is something that I learned, and that's what I will always use, no matter what and where it might. Because you wouldn't know why they're doing that, right? So I think that's most important. I think when you know that that they aren't meaning this. If you know out and out they're an asshole, then
you fuck it.
yeah. So that you can't change.
Yeah.
But if they have a different reason for them to do that, that's when you realize, okay, let's take it slow,
It's okay.
or let's give it another day. Let's talk to them some other day, so on and so forth. A lot of things, but more so than not, I think people are accommodating. But I think I mean, even if I'm having a bad day, I would be like, "Fuck this shit! I'm not gonna do anything."
Yeah.
So it's pretty common,
That's how.
but yeah, in that sense, probably 80% of them have been that sweet, but the 20
is always
there, no matter what.
In this journey of Faces of Bengaluru, can you like tell us one experience that stands out for you, for whatever reason? It just stands out. One feeling, one emotion, one memory, one experience, anything till date.
I think one of the stories, I'd say two.
Okay, yeah, go for it.
One is the Thatanta Haley quizmaster. Maybe a personal bias as a quizmaster, but I think the determination he had for knowledge to still continue working in his full-time organization, but also do this on Saturdays and Sundays without breaking a sweat, without having a clear sponsor for 15 years.
What?
Yeah.
No sponsor for 15 years.
Everything was either spent by Doordarshan.
Are you noting it down?
Yeah.
Because we keep talking in the studio when we plan, right? We're like, dude, 6 months we gotta do this. 9 months we gotta do this.
Yeah.
By next year we got. This is 15 years in the making.
Yeah. And he doesn't give out amazing prizes. He doesn't. He is not commercial enough in that sense. But
excuse me.
No problem. But I think what he set out to do was distribute knowledge and give us small hints of who he is as a person.
Okay.
And also be humble while he's doing it. Simple as that. And I think the way he spoke, I was trying to get him for 3 months. I couldn't.
Oh.
Yeah. So
yeah, some guests are hard to get.
Yeah. So and he the moment that he started talking was pretty amazing, and he was talking about how he started listening to Bonvita Quiz Contest.
Okay.
And how he started to listen to all these quiz shows on radios. He made his own transmitter to listen to an antenna, then to listen to quiz shows.
Sweet.
So pretty amazing, I think.
Nice.
And I think that's biopic worth coming out of.
Mm.
And I think that's something that stuck to me for a very long time.
For a
That yeah, of course, money is always going to be a part of it. But if you have the persistence, I think nothing like it.
Just
Yeah,
keep at it.
yeah,
What's the other one?
yeah.
that
And
stands out?
the other one was I think. This founder from though there's another one, but I would want to talk about this. The founder of We Move Theatre.
Okay.
His name is Abhishek.
Okay.
I think one thing he mentioned stuck to me for a very long time. That is, it's in the story.
Okay.
Though on Faces of Bengaluru, I'll send it. I think he says that a lot of the common man's story, though, is marketed very well. I think not a lot of people really understand what a middle class man or a woman goes through.
Human being goes through.
Yeah. So the middle class man's story has not been told anywhere. And
this is interesting.
yeah, and that's where I think a lot of us lie in, who are in confusion of whether to pursue a job or whether to pursue your passion. And I think that's the dilemma only lies with the middle class people. You don't get it anywhere else.
Okay.
Any economic strata. It's only with the middle class people, and that confusion is one of the toughest decisions he had to make in his life. How he had to fight it, everything. So
Nice.
I think that's another.
Very relatable.
Yeah, very relatable. And also the collective from Aravani Art Project.
Okay.
They are a bunch of trans artists.
Sure. Oh yeah, this I think I've come across.
Yeah. So I think not having known the other genders.
So this was also an interview that you did, and
it was a docu later.
Okay.
But the interview series that I did initially,
Okay.
when I spoke to them, I think moved me a lot in terms of what they go through and why people have biases against them, and be it from whichever place they were, they would always have hatred. They would always be,
were they welcoming to you?
Yeah, they were pretty welcoming, I think. And because they also spoke proper Kannada, and I talk in Kannada, so I think they were very welcoming, and they spoke to me very well, and I think that helped me unlearn a lot of things about biases, right? So I think that's where these three things.
This whole this dream of getting into documentaries is there. You've shared the dream of Faces of Bengaluru, but is there this question, like, do your parents ask you a question of, say, when you get married, or rather, I don't know if you...
No, I'm not married. So.
No, if you want to get married, like, one of the main things we all have at this age is are people going to accept the fact that we are doing work that is not really in mainstream, right? How does your family look at it? How do you look at it? So I wanted to get a sense of that.
Yeah, sure. So I think till, like I said, till the screening, my parents, my family had no clue what I did. I still...
Oh, like this screening?
This screening, yeah.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
Then you are at the very important phase.
Yeah, junction.
Okay,
yeah.
Nice.
So, I go back to this Facebook video of Mark Zuckerberg trying to explain Senate how location sharing works.
Location where this guy asks, would you be comfortable
exactly.
in telling us where you stayed last night?
no, that doesn't pick up. Though Facebook picks it up right now,
Yeah.
later they won't.
Yeah.
So I felt like that whenever I was trying to explain them that I I do interviews for a living, right? So, but then I think at times when you yourself had, like, as a young 20-year-old guy, you had personal biases, you had to unlearn. They've been living here probably for the past 50 years, and they would have biases. They would have seen a lot of people doing it and failing, doing it and succeeding, and why they succeeded, how they succeeded, everything, right? And there is no harm in them having those thoughts, but accommodating and being optimistic about your kid is really, really important. I think though my parents haven't been actively optimistic, but I think they are the kind of people who sit back and push whenever you need that extra push. Today my grandma wanted the car, though I was taking it. My dad told, it's okay, take your car, I'll ask the driver to bring his rental car and take it. I was like, no. So those things, like, which are small things which are important, right? Those are the things I think my parents do.
You have siblings?
Yeah, I have a younger brother.
So how does he look at all of this? And is he like...
No, he's very much out of it. I think he is this shy, quiet guy who likes his routine, who likes getting up, having proper breakfast on time, and game for some time, and then go to the gym. And now he's looking for work, so he's joining a company. So he's pretty much out of it. Though whenever I ask him if there's some help, he'll definitely be there. Irrespective of what work he has.
Nice.
Yeah. So there is no resistance per se from my family. But I think they're also worried that though this guy has done all these things, why isn't he earning enough money? So I think that's something that they are also worried about. So,
I get it.
Yeah.
Another way of, like, all these things, right? We often think, like, maybe I should do it later. Maybe I should have done it back then. I look at it in a more, I don't know if I want to use the word spiritual.
Yeah.
Because I feel like there's certain energies guiding you towards starting certain things